Two more topics I want to cover, and then I want to open it up for questions pretty quickly. I know there are a lot of people, whether you're interested in personal blogging or professional blogging, which we'll touch on more specifically in a minute, there are a lot of people who are interested in how to make money. How do you monetize a blog? And I think the first thing that I'll say, and then I'll pass it down this way and then back this way, the first thing I'll say is have realistic expectations going in. You're not going to make $25,000 a month blogging, especially within the first year. There might be 3 people on the planet who do. So we'll talk about some other issues in regards to making money blogging, but someone who has made money blogging is sitting right next to me, and I'll let him start.
So I got started. I initially when Google Ads came out, I put Google Ads on my site, and I made like $25 a month, and I thought, this isn't worth it for my readers to have to look at these ads. So I took them back down, and I'd been blogging about 3.5 years when a company called me and they said, hey, we want to put some links on your site, we'll pay you. And I said, no thanks, I'm not interested. And they said, we'll give you $600 a month. And I said, what? Okay, let's talk. And so initially I made money because I had a page rank of 7, and I basically sold links to other pages, hoping that those guys were hoping that Google would see them more favorably. You can't really make a lot of money that way anymore. Google has learned that people are gaming the system. But what happened after that was a blog network contacted me, and they said, hey, we can sell ads on your site, we'll split the money with you. And they were able to sell enough ads that even with splitting the money, I made more money than I was making. So the best way to make money, the economics of online advertising really favor high traffic, high page view sites. So if you can have a direct sales force, that's the single best thing that you can do. 99.9% of bloggers can't. So the next best thing to do is probably join a blog network or sign up for an ad network that has high CPMs. I would look for an ad network like Glam Media, right? You have to have 1 million page views to join Glam Media in a month. And you have to be in like fashion, beauty, and a couple of other industries. Look for something that has higher CPMs because it's in the niche that you're blogging in. If you just want to go with Google Ads, I mean, you better be just doing ass loads of traffic to make some serious money. It's just not a good way to go. But there are a lot of innovative ways and interesting things that are coming out, like pay-per-post, and you can do affiliate links. You could blog about a topic like credit cards, and if you can get $50 every time somebody signs up for a credit card on your site, and you can get 100 people to sign up a month, you can make some decent money doing that. But I wouldn't expect in this day and age to retire on blogging unless you're willing to run it like a regular business and raise money, invest in good content and good design, and really run it like a business. You could do that 3 or 4 years ago, but I think those days are over.
And Chris has some good perspective on running it like a business, obviously.
Rob mentioned the advertising-based revenue model, and I think more and more that model's done. Unless you're a big media player, forget it. There's 2 other models that I think are really promising, though. One is to actually have a product and sell it. That's the most targeted possible way to do it. That's the best answer, in my opinion. And then Rob hinted at one. You could do affiliate sales, like I use a certain company. I recommend their web hosting to my readers, my audience, and every time somebody signs up, I get $85. So, if you're a trusted resource and you can recommend something people will use that has an affiliate program, you can make some residual income that way. I'm trying to think. There was another model. I got sidetracked here. Another way to make money online. Hang on. Yeah, I guess let me think about that for a second. But bottom line, if you can sell something, that's the most direct way to obviously generate income and get a very interested audience.
Well, get everybody engaged. Are you going to talk at all about like info products?
No. Well, people look at, am I making X amount of dollars directly from my website? Well, that may not be the case, but as a lead generation tool, it's totally invaluable. For instance, when I started working on the web, I was doing design work for people, and I would get 3 or 4 inquiries a week about whether or not I could do design work for people, so I had all the work I ever wanted. So it was an advertising tool, it was a lead generation tool. I could have earned a 6-figure income off design referrals if I wanted to work my tail off. So that's probably that and actually selling something are probably the 2 most valuable ways a site will benefit you in 2008.
And kind of piggybacking off that, and then I'll let Michelle talk about the kind of the local angle to that and what she's doing. Chris Anderson from Wired wrote the economy of free post both on the blog and in Wired Magazine a couple of months ago. And it sort of echoes something that Doc Searles, who is a Linux guy and a longtime blogger and leader in Web 2.0 and social media thinking, talked about when he talked about, I've forgotten the name of it now. But anyway, the economy of free basically is that approach. You're not blogging to make money from blogging. You're blogging to support what you make money at regularly. About a month and a half ago, I took all the advertisements off of Social Media Explorer because A, I was making maybe $5 a month, Google AdSense or whatever the affiliate programs I was involved with, and B, I was starting to get calls and inquiries from people who were saying, I'm interested in social media, what can you do for me? Well, I work at an agency. I can't go out and freelance, that's a conflict of interest. So I'm bringing them into the fold and pitching new business to them at my agency. So it is ultimately benefiting me because I'm attracting new business to the firm that I work for. So now Social Media Explorer for me is about making money for my agency and ultimately for me. If I ever get big enough to where I could break out on my own and make all that money myself, I'll probably do it. But that's probably down the road and not something I'm really thinking about. Michelle has a different perspective because she has a hyper-local blog and depends on a lot of the advertising and pay-per-click and CPMs and whatnot. So I'll let her talk about that.
All right, well, I have two things I want to talk about. My blog is hyper-local, so local businesses and people who are interested in local businesses are kind of my bread and butter. Ads for local restaurants, ads for local businesses, that all makes sense, and so because it's targeted. And so if you're going to start a new blog, the more niche-based you can be, if you're going to use something like contextual ads, the better off you're going to be. I'm starting to kind of move toward a direct sales model instead of through Google AdSense or something like that. And if you can do that, if you can have salespeople or if you can do it yourself, you're going to do much better than doing something like Google AdSense or Yahoo ads or something like that. But the second thing I want to talk about is, as Chris and Rob said, two things: giving away for free and being an expert on something. The most interesting model I've seen making money blogging is a writer in Seattle. Her name is Ariel Stallings, and she wrote a book a couple years ago called Offbeat Bride. It's all about non-traditional weddings, and what she figured out was she wasn't going to make money off selling her book. She was going to make money off other stuff, and that the way she was going to do that was through ads on her blog and stuff, because once people read the book, they still were looking for more information. So she was blogging about it, and people were coming to her. She wasn't getting a lot of money through her Google AdSense and stuff, so she's tried a new model, which is, yes, it's pay per post, but it's all screened by her. So if a company says, I'm a wedding photographer and I specialize in non-traditional weddings and I'd like to advertise on your site, she looks at their stuff, she has a conversation with them, and decides whether or not they're right for her audience. If she doesn't think her audience will like them, she will turn the money down. She's in a position that she can do that, but because she does that, because she turns people away, her audience trusts her. So businesses have found that even though they're not getting, their ad isn't getting repeated a million times and it's one post they're paying for, they're getting a lot better return on their investment because people trust her, so they trust this ad and they're more interested in it. And she's found people saying, thank you, I've been looking for, a wedding photographer in the Northeast, or I've been looking for this and that. And because they know they can trust her, it's not just like, pulling somebody out of the phone book. So I think that's kind of an interesting model where after you've built a relationship with your audience and they trust you, you can start doing things like that. Like Chris says about the hosting. People trust him, so they take his advice on who to use for hosting. I think we're kind of moving in that direction because contextual ads, people, in Firefox stuff, you can turn off ads and all those kind of things. I think we're getting more to a pay-per-post model, but not kind of in the sketchy end of things, more in the, you trust me, so I'm going to look at this and I'm going to tell you what I think about it. If I think it's good, I'm going to run it on my site instead of just taking money from everybody. So I think we're getting a little more stringent in what we'll run, and that's a model that I think people should look into, and it's interesting.
The because effect was the Doc Searles thing I referred to, in case you want to Google that and look into that.